We have done pretty much every single Mercedes screen upgrade from the NTG 4.5, 4.7 and 5, but we have not done a early model NTG 4. This is what it looks like. So this is what an early W204 C-Class looks like. It's a 2010 model and it has this infotainment system with the awesome little screen that pops up. So what we have done is a CarPlay integration on an NTG4, which means you keep the original screen and you add Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to that screen. And a lot of people do opt for the CarPlay integration. What a lot of people don't know is that we can actually take this whole screen out and replace it with our 10.25-inch Android display. And that is what we're going to do in this video. We're going to show you the whole install. This is a very clean example. It's only got 100,000 kilometers on it, and it does already have a problem. This dial, right? If you have a car like this and you use the wheel like that and nothing happens, it actually means that this is broken. It is a very, very, very common thing to break. It's not the easiest thing in the world to fix. We basically have to take it out, pull the whole thing apart, and then rebuild it with a new aluminium part. There's a little piece of plastic in here that breaks. It basically snaps in half and it stops you from using the dial. So what you can do is you can still push it over. So a lot of people come in and they just do this. So you push it up, push it, push it, push it, and that all works absolutely fine. But if you do a CarPlay integration, you actually need this dial to work. Otherwise you can't use your CarPlay. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. Dial should be working. If you do this and nothing happens, first thing to do is go ahead and get that fixed. And apart from that, let's go look at the kit. So very similar to our other systems, you're gonna have a package like this. Beautiful 10.25-inch Android display inside. And just another look at that. That is a capacitive HD touchscreen display. Now this is our fascia panel. It has a very, very nice texture and color match. That's gonna basically replace the screen that pops up and down. It's gonna be a fixed system here like that, and then the screen's gonna sit on top. So it's really gonna transform the interior. We have all of this wiring, which we're gonna go through and show you exactly how to install. External microphone for beautiful Bluetooth quality, some mounting hardware. So if the car has a factory camera, the factory camera will work. If you wanna add an aftermarket camera like this one, which is a HD camera, it is going to look insane. We'll see that later. You can go ahead and do something like that as well. All right, before we jump into it, I just want to show you guys a couple tools you'll need. I've got a ratcheting screwdriver here with a Torx 20 on it. Torx bits are going to be very common in this car, so just keep that in mind. Always use plastic. Okay, so we've got plastic panel removal tools to remove panels, obviously. And the last thing here, this is actually back on the website now. It's a fabric tape. So all of our looms, every single thing that we do in every car gets wrapped in this fabric tape. Okay, so if we pull this head unit out, when we do, all the original looms are wrapped in a fabric tape. I see people wrapping their looms in like duct tape and all this sort of stuff. It's just no good. So if you want to go ahead and get fabric tape, that's important. Otherwise, whatever, do what you want. To start the install, what we're gonna do is take these vents out right here. So you can start at the top and sort of, I'm pulling back with my fingers as well as trying to get this in. Okay, if you struggle with that, you can go from the side and just give it a little pull. Okay, that's it, that's ready to go. You can work your way from the top here, just give it a little sort of guide out. And there we go. Okay, and then once they're both popped out, you can go ahead and pull this whole thing out. There'll be some plugs on it as well. That thing is now out and we're ready for the next part. Next up, two Torx 20s right here. We'll pop them out. Then there's two little sliders that slide up and then this whole radio will pop out. So that's pretty much the disassembly of the main sort of screen and head unit there. Pretty simple. What we're gonna do next is this panel right here. So if you don't see an airbag clip cover on it, it's just gonna be clips. So just go in from the inside underneath the rubber there, pop it out and then up. Just be careful that you don't scratch the roof lining. That's pretty simple. And the glove box. Glove box removal is nice and simple. We're just gonna take that panel off and I've got a right angle with a Torx 20 on it. And we're also gonna remove this very bottom panel and that's gonna be able to slide down out of the way and there's gonna be another Torx 20 underneath there. Then you can open the glove box, pop out the Torx 20 bits that are in there. There's one more on the side here and that whole thing should just pull right out and there's a few plugs on it and then you can take it out. So here we have all of the wiring. Now I'll just run you through what most of this does. We have screen cable first of all, and accessory cables. So basically the original screen connector goes into this, and then that's just basically a converter that converts it to LVDS, and then you've got the power as well. And that is so you can see all of the original NTG menu on the new screen. And then you've got 2 long USB cables. We usually just put them in the glove box unless the customer specifies where they would like them. Main quad lock and power connector. So this one here comes with a speaker. Bin it, you don't need it. Next up is the power harness. So I forgot where I was. Quad lock connector from the original side goes into here. That replaces it. If you have a fiber optic cable, which will take up one of those 2 spots, very important that you take it out of the original and put it in here or you will have no sound. We're gonna run through that anyway. These 2 A and B cables are usually preset, so just leave it as it is. But if your dial is in working order that we looked at earlier, and you dial on the new screen and it doesn't work, first thing we'll look at is settings. Second thing we'll look at is unplugging that and plugging it into the other port, okay? But just leave it in the one that it comes in and that should be fine. We usually preset them for you before you order them, but it is case by case. And then all of this stuff, we'll use our fabric tape and get it all nice and clean. That just plugs into the new screen. If you're adding a reverse camera, you use one of these here. So you've got a rear camera in. That's going to run from your AHD camera to there. And then there's also power here as well. So there's 12 volt camera power. So you can basically connect those 2 together, run your RCA to the back, connect it to the camera, and your camera's done. Pretty simple. Microphone, which we looked at earlier. We like to put that on the roof lining. You can put it wherever you want. And then all of the accessory stuff. So GPS antenna, Wi-Fi antenna. People ask me, do I need to install this stuff? Yes, just do it. It's there. It'll help the unit and its operation, so it's good to install. GPS antenna we like to put in the A-pillar area. AUX extension you might not need. 90% of the time you don't need it, so get rid of it. And then the Wi-Fi antenna, just away from other electronics in the car. So I'm gonna get this stuff done, okay? Because you can put that accessory stuff wherever you want it. We just like to do it in good locations. And then we'll come back when we're doing the wiring for the head unit. All right, so we've taken that panel off there. That's just on clips, and it's allowed me to put the microphone right there. All the wiring is completely hidden. Runs down here, all the way to here where we've got our GPS antenna. And then, like I said, that fabric tape, that's what we've used there to run everything underneath. And that's an original loom that also has the exact same tape on it. Coming over to this side, what we've done is the original screen cable that was plugged into the factory screen. I've put it into our adapter, and then on our adapter side, that just comes to the harness that we looked at earlier. I put some double-sided tape on it, mounted it to this metal pole, and then a zip tie. And if you look at that, I can pull on that and it doesn't go anywhere. Push on it, it's happy where it is, so that's all good. And then we've just taped that up. I've run the 2 USBs down here because they're going into the glove box. Same thing again, that nice tape. We've got the GPS antenna cable right there because we mounted it. Microphone right here, mounted it. And then we've also mounted the Wi-Fi antenna. So that's pretty much that stuff done. Now I'm just gonna tuck it away because it's not completely finished yet. We can still do a little bit more tidying up on that wiring, but we're gonna look down here and I'm gonna show you how to connect power. All right, so here we have all of the original wiring, original screen cable right there. That's the original wiring for the climate control, don't worry about that. And here we have the main quad lock. So you might be able to get a little more length out of it if you're lucky. Today we're not lucky. And what we need to do is have a look at the back side of it, okay? So on the back, if you've got these 2 orange ports going into the right side there, not all cars will have it. If you do have it, it means you've got a factory amplifier. And if you do have it, this is what you need to do. You need to get a pick tool, pry the backing clip open and just remove it, okay? If it's got tape on it and it's attached to another loom, you'll need to use a knife and cut it out, but this one's already been done, so don't worry about it. If you're using a knife or any heat or anything around this, you have to be extremely careful. These are not normal cables with copper in them, they are light. So they're fiber optic. Light runs through them. If you damage that, kaput, done, all right? End of your days, very bad. So what we're gonna do now, new quad lock connector, put this in the exact same, oh there you go, you can see the light. Put this in the exact same port that you took it out from on the original one, but on the new side. It'll only go one way, so you can flip it around, pop it in, get it clipped in. And then on this side, open it up, line up all the pins, okay? Be careful here, keep it nice and straight. It's very important that you keep it straight. Lock it into place, give it a little press. Happy days, it's done. And now all of this stuff can be taped up nice and neat, and we're gonna run it up to this area here because it's gonna connect to the screen. This section here, that's your AUX connection for the sound output. It's already done for you. So you just leave it, tape it up, off you go. If you don't have sound, you'll need to look at that extension AUX cable that we looked at earlier. You might need to go ahead and unplug this, plug your extension in instead, and run that to the glove box where the media input is. Okay, it's not in the center console in these early cars, it's in the glove box. If you can't find it in the glove box, check your center console because that's the other spot that they go, but they're usually in the glove box for the earlier model, for this model. Okay, but I'm very confident because even if the AUX doesn't work, so that means we turn the car on, turn the screen on, select AUX, play sound, there's no sound, I know how to code the car. So we're all good. But if you're unsure or if you need help, you can reach out to us on the website and we can give you a hand. And it should look something like this when you're finished. So quad lock is in, I've moved the quad lock down. Spend a little bit of time on your cable management because the neater it is back here, the easier it is to maneuver these quad locks and all the new stuff that we've put in out of the way. And then you can get all of your original plugs out, fish everything out that you need, like all this stuff here. And then you can pop that down. The head unit will go in easier in that case. If you just have a big sloppy mess, plug it in and just leave it as it is, you'll be here all day just trying to get the head unit in. So spend the extra few minutes to get this nice and tidy and it will really make a big difference. Once all those cables are out of the way, all we need to do now is get our head unit and we're going to plug in our original quad lock connector. We're going to plug in all of the original cables from the head unit. Double check, just make sure you've got everything plugged in because once you slide this thing in, you don't want to have to take it back out. Get it all plugged in, slide it in nicely. As you see here, we're lining it up, making sure it's 100%. Get the screws, plug it in, and we're ready to go. So once all that wiring's cleaned up, we've got our brand new fascia here. So we're gonna go the big plug with the 4G antenna on the right side, and then the small and the GPS on there. So it should look something like that when it's ready to go. There's 3 little feet at the very back, so they're gonna clip underneath the dashboard. All right, this is basically how it should look once you're done and ready to pop your screen back on. This will take a little bit of time. So what we did, we put this cover panel on first, use the original mounting hardware behind this new panel as well. And then the climate control goes in and it kind of sits somewhat in between the dash and this panel. So you'll see once you get it in, it sort of clips underneath this panel and then clips into its original housing underneath. And then it will allow just enough space for you to click this new center panel in like that. And then it's in, it's done, it's tight, and we can go ahead and pop our screen on and start doing some testing. All right, and we are pretty much ready for the final reveal. All I've been doing now was just putting the glove box back together, A-pillar and some other bits and pieces, and here it is. And there it is, guys. Get a look at that. 10 times better, looks absolutely insane. Obviously completely touchscreen. Screen protector is still on. We'll quickly get our phone paired up to the Bluetooth, and then once that's paired, we can get Apple CarPlay up. So once you've found the Bluetooth name and then paired the phone, it'll bring you straight into our CarPlay application. Just keep your phone handy as it might ask you to use CarPlay, just like that. And then once that's done, you can put the phone away. Give it a couple of seconds, and boom. Straight into CarPlay. We're gonna hit Do Not Remind Me, okay, and have a look at that. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto in this beautiful C-Class, looks amazing. Go into reverse. Oh, look at that camera, reverse camera right there. Looks absolutely crazy. Now we can play with the angle on that because what I want to do is bring it out just a little bit so you see less of the fisheye up the top, but that is pretty much it. Common question I get is reverse camera. So if you go to reverse and you've got the original camera and it's not showing, so you want to go settings, system, reverse settings, okay? And then you can change whether you've got aftermarket or original camera right there. And then automatic detection is fine, and that is pretty much it, okay? So if you've got original, hit original. If you've added a camera like we have, set it to aftermarket. Steering wheel controls all work. Obviously sound works, touchscreen works, CarPlay works. All the original functions are there as well, so we can go to car info. Now if I just do that quickly, car info, it's giving us a black screen. which means we need to go to settings, and then you need to go to factory settings, put in your password, and then you want to go to car display and set the correct display. So we would want NTG, I think it was the NTG 4.5, let's try that. And basically you just want to go through and try a bunch of these that are similar or correct until it works. You can tell I'm a pro because I did one change on the settings and there you have it. So it is half screen. You can do full screen, but it looks a little stretched. I like to do half screen, and there you go. All of your original stuff is there just as it was before, and then you touch the screen. Now we are back to our brand new system, all touchscreen, ready to go. And that is pretty much it. My camera is about to die. So if you want to reach out to us, this is the website. Go fill out the contact form. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. If you want to buy this exact screen, link is the first link in the description. You can go ahead and pick one of these up. We've got them in stock in Melbourne. If you have any questions on the install, drop a comment below. And anything else, just head to our website and we can help you out. Thank you all so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.